The Xiaomi 17 Pro Max has a special camera mode that is very good, recommended for street photography, and this is the FastShot mode. You can arrive to it by swiping up on the camera UI, going to FastShot mode, and then you can see you have something like a little bit of a rangefinder style for shooting. You can see the inlines. This is the photo what it actually takes with the 23mm sensor here. This is 28mm, this is 50, it's zooming in a bit, this is 75, you can see how it's not like cropping in, to let a little bit of space around it still, so that you can see what's coming into frame. So very good for street photography for sure. Sadly, this mode has been downgraded a bit. Before we had some possibilities to have some different modes in here, especially on the 14 Ultra and some other older, even I think the 15 Pro had this mode as well. But this is now missing here from the 17 Pro Max for some reason. We have only a few settings here, like setting up the watermark. Another specialty is that the aspect ratio here is 2:3 instead of 4:3 that we usually use on the normal camera sensor. We can set up a shutter here, like a red shutter button if you want to, or any other shutter button, which is a bit of a gimmick for sure, but nevertheless quite interesting that you have the possibility to set this up here. I will take some photos now with this mode here on the streets of Wesel, Germany, to see how well this is working. You can see it also has a speed mode there for fast moving subjects. So let's check it out. Before we analyze the photos a little bit more, I have to tell you that you can still choose between the two profiles, Leica Authentic and Leica Vibrant, and I think this street style mode with the FastShot mode is meant to be used with Leica Authentic, because it's fitting it so well. The slight vignetting that you can see around, and slightly a little bit brighter spotlight that we have on the middle is really working fine here on this 2x shot on Timmy. My dog, as you see, is nice and sharp. We get nice natural background blur. It's just fantastic looking there. I really like that. And some other shots as well that you can get. And I really like to also experiment way more with cropping in or using the 5x telezoom a little bit more than I would usually do, because the framing is something that I like to do a little bit better with the outlines being left and right. And you can get away with such shot as well here. Or kind of this shot where you crop a little bit into the car is nicely in focus, and you have a bit of the shop in the background. Also, this is 75mm, and it's still nice and sharp and detailed enough. And also this kind of shot of the donkey there, nice and sharp, nice, a bit of background blur, a bit of the sun going on there, that is rarely to see here. Here also a nice shot with the sun there in the background. I think this overexposure is also giving it a little bit of a flare. This guy walking here just into the shadow there. We have this construction site going on there. It gives it also a little bit of a shadow, and this color together with the car. I think I like it. I like this very much in terms of street photography. I'm not sure if you like street photography, but yeah, I really like it. And working with those millimeters instead of just having the 2x, 3x something is also something freeing. I noticed that also already when using the Vivo X200 Ultra that has this by default. It's a bit of freeing, but with these outlines around it and a bit of like rangefinder kind of view, it is meant for taking such shots like this here. Or this, where people are like standing and passing by with a bike, and why was this here, and who is hiding behind this dude? I can tell you, it's a police officer, because riding on the bike here in Germany on the street where pedestrians have to walk, pedestrian walk street basically, is not allowed. So this guy was stopping anyone with the bike and telling them off, don't drive or don't cycle on the pedestrian with the bike. It's not the sharpest, but it's like, it's street photo. You usually don't zoom in too much. You want to capture the moment and what's going on there, and I think I managed to do so very fine here as well. Also, this shot I like because someone was wearing a costume there, probably for Halloween already, and I think it fitted with the black and red together with the red here of the pharmacy and a little bit of the darkish kind of
parts here of the shot, so very nicely done here. Sometimes, however, you can also do mistakes when you're not used to shooting with frame lines.
One thing that you have to keep in mind is that you're using those outlines, because if you use the whole picture just to take this shot, you see that I will cut a little bit into this building. So put it a bit higher there, and then you get the perfect shot there. And yeah, you can use a timer to hold it steady. This is how it works. And yes, Timmy is pulling. This is why he wants to go on. So let's take some more shots.
And also don't forget to switch to the portrait mode, and you can get such shots that look very fantastic, I think, with the focus on the television tower there in the background because the sun was shining on it, the nice clouds there, this nice building with this arc there, action. I know it's a bit of advertisement, but it's nice. This guy passing by on his bike, and yes, I told you about like the police officer. He escaped. This guy had luck because the police officer was handling someone else there. So very nice shot indeed as well there. And yeah, this is the shot that I took of this building. As you see, get some nice angles of view and take the portrait shot. Don't be afraid also to use 28 millimeters. Sometimes I would like to even use wider field of views for such things. So the ultra wide angle, I know is not available in this street mode at all, or in this fast shot mode, probably because it's the worst lens on this device. No, but I'm joking a little bit. The other devices also didn't have the ultra wide angle for the fast shot mode, so it's probably not meant to be used here. But this is the widest angle of view, and I think it's still okay and manageable. You can get some close-up shots as well. Try to create a little bit of depth into the shot. There's a little bit like standing there in the foreground of this shop there that had this nice painting there, but otherwise it will look too flat and a bit too boring. But this looks like this woman here on this painting is like looking towards this, that I don't even know, candles for 265. Yes, apparently candles, 50 candles for 265. Yeah, this is getting into the mood of the season here, I would say. This shot here also with the frame lines, with the sun hitting the cathedral there in the background, also very nice. Another construction site going on. Yeah, there are lots of constructions going on, apparently currently in Wesel. And then this shot, which is also quite interesting because this is where I really noticed how frame lines can be very powerful when you want to create a specific shot on time.
Here's where frame lines come in super handy. You can see the outline of the frame, and you will see also from the left someone going into the frame. And yeah, I can time this shot very good because I have those frame lines, and I can see a bit more than those frame lines to time my shot accurately. So if someone is coming into frame, see some person is like walking now, you can see before he steps into the frame. And this is, I think, a pretty good way of doing street photography, especially when it comes to specific timings that you want to achieve.
And also old and sometimes even shabby looking architecture might look interesting if you zoom in a little bit and find the right composition. And those windows were looking like a spaceship, almost like gliding out of the building a little bit. So, and they were so symmetrical and old, like built in the 70s probably, that I had to photograph them. I know it's not the sharpest yet 75 millimeter, but it looks pretty interesting, I think. And then of course Timmy sniffing around to photograph him again. And some people walking by. It's perfect. The 75 millimeter is also very nice for this street. I like shooting people with it as well. It's not the sharpest if you zoom in, definitely nothing you want to crop in. It's something, this is why you have those frame lines that you don't crop in at all. Still, it's very powerful. You can also get some nice shots with 35 millimeter, nice piercing and tattoo shop here in Wesel. And yeah, riding the bike, also nice composition. I like the colors, the autumn is captured very nicely here in those pictures Also with the donkey here, of course, sitting on top of a building here. Very nice indeed. And yeah, also 50mm can work very nice, and you can capture, even without using fast mode, you can capture people and cars in movement, and it's sharp, as you see here. It is not completely unsharp. Don't have to rely on the fast mode. It is still doing a nice of a job here, even at 50mm. So all in all, I'm very surprised how well this is working, how much I like this fast shot mode. I know it is there already a bit longer, but I really didn't do street photography with it. But I think it is very, very suited for the street photography mode, because it has those outlines and this rangefinder kind of style. And I'm growing to like this rangefinder kind of style to take street photos. So much so that I was thinking maybe next vacation I take the Xiaomi 17 or another Xiaomi with me just for the fast shot mode. But I'm not completely convinced yet, because some others have also a very similar kind of mode there. But still, it is a very nice mode to shoot photos in. And if you like rangefinders, if you like street photography, definitely check a smartphone out from Xiaomi that has this fast shot mode, because it might be very addicting. That's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. If you have some suggestions, questions, write it down in the comment section. Until the next time. Bye.